What's up, everybody? Mark with Coffee&Toys here. It is Friday, and that means it is comic book review day for the newest G.I. Joe comics by Image Comics. Yeah, today is a good one because we have the start of a new limited series, and today we will be reviewing Scarlett Issue 1. Let's talk about it. But of course, before we get into reviewing today's comic, let's talk about the coffee you're drinking. The coffee I'm drinking is from coffeebrandcoffee.com. That's right, coffeebrandcoffee.com. No frills, no gimmicks, just great tasting coffee from a great American business. And you can get yourself some of that great coffee and save yourself 5% using the discount code Coffee&Toys. That's Coffeeentoys, or use the link in the description below. Tell me what you're drinking today, because today I am drinking, this is actually a concoction mix today. This is double caffeinated and bourbon. I needed a pick-me-up today, so I took my double caffeinated, I took my bourbon flavored coffee, and I mixed them together, and man, I am getting my caffeine jolt this morning. But yeah, for all your coffee needs, whether you like light roast or dark roast or flavored coffees or hot cocoa, or heck, maybe you don't want any coffee at all today and you just want some great tasting candies and nuts, Coffee Brand Coffee has it all. You can also pick up this really cool camper's mug, 12-ounce mug. They have larger tumblers, anything for your coffee needs. Heck, they even have burr grinders. So if you're the person that likes to grind your own coffee, order it whole bean, have yourself your own burr grinder, and get it to the consistency you want it for a French press or anything else of that nature. Make sure you visit coffeebrandcoffee.com. But with that, yes, we will be jumping into G.I. Joe's new, or I should say Skybound Entertainment Image Comics' latest G.I. Joe limited series, and that is Scarlett. Just hit the comic book stands this last Wednesday. I picked up my issue yesterday that I had on hold. I actually managed to get a few different cover variants, so let's go ahead and go through those real quick. Obviously, this is the kind of primary cover, standard release cover. I was able to pick up this one, and then I was also able to get two variant covers. This is another standard cover. Sorry, it's still got the plastic on it. So of course this has Jinx and Scarlett on the cover, and then I was able to get one of the retailer incentive covers, the 1 in 10 edition of Scarlett. She's on a motorcycle wreaking havoc against something. I don't know what it is. But I was able to pick up these three, and of course with this issue of Scarlett being issue 1, I think there is literally like 10 different covers, maybe more. There's a lot. I only got 3. I didn't want to go broke trying to get every single cover. But yeah, so we will be reviewing the entirety of this first issue, so spoiler alert. I'll be covering the entire issue. I will be putting up some screenshots of the issue. I'm not going to do many because I do want folks to go out and support Image Comics, Skybound Entertainment, your local comic book shops. So I am going to be a little more reserved in the number of pictures I use today because I want you to go out there and buy it. I want the brand to continue as far as in comic book form. So make sure you support your local comic book shops, and let's jump into today's review. Okay, I'm going to take a quick drink of coffee. All right, the whistle has been wetted, and Scarlett issue number 1 from Skybound Entertainment Image Comics is the limited series, June 2024. Writer is Kelly Thompson, artist Marco Ferrari, colorist Lee Loffridge, and letterer Russ Wooten. That's right, we've got a new gang, well, almost a new gang. Russ is returning as the letterer, but a new gang to the series to bring Scarlett to life for us. So, here we go. We open with a wide shot of an island off the coast of Morocco, and approaching the island is a figure under the water who, once emerges, is indeed our heroine, Scarlett. She swims up to the beach, she finds a little alcove / cave kind of thing, and she begins to disrobe from her military tactical suit into a green cocktail dress. She puts her hair up, and the next scene we see, she has entered this very large mansion on the island, and we note that she is using her purse, or maybe it's a clutch, I'm not sure. She is using that as not only a device to talk back to HQ, but also as a device to take pictures. So she is walking around, she is communicating with headquarters, talking to her CO, and taking pictures and doing her reconnaissance And as she's communicating with HQ, she says, hey, I think these hostages might be on site from what I'm gathering. And her superiors respond by simply telling her, hey, this is a recon mission. Your job is to confirm buyers and gather evidence, nothing else. As Scarlett continues to go through this party that's going on in the mansion, she spots a young Asian woman wearing a red dress, and the red dress is split, cut up the thigh very high, and on her thigh is a very familiar tattoo. I bet you can probably guess what that tattoo is. As she's trailing this girl, unsure of who exactly it is, the woman does turn, revealing a very elegant-looking tattoo, sleeve tattoo on her right arm, and is confirmed by Scarlett to be none other than Jinx. Shocked, Scarlett tails Jinx, and then suddenly this huge fight breaks out. And all the meanwhile, Scarlett is communicating with her CO saying, hey, do I need to engage? And she is constantly told, no, you do not engage. Do not engage whatsoever. As it goes on, this bloody fight goes in between the mansion security personnel, Jinx, and some other folks with swords, which I can only assume are with Jinx. So as they're fighting on, the security personnel get neutralized, and it is confirmed that there actually are hostages on site, and Jinx has actually managed to rescue one of those hostages. Scarlett radios HQ, saying Jinx has taken the hostage, and that the situation on hand has changed. HQ just keeps saying, nope, don't engage, don't engage. Scarlett completely ignores it. She takes out a couple of security personnel herself, and with that, Jinx manages to get away, and as she's getting away, Scarlett and Jinx make brief eye contact, and basically realizing each knew the other was there. Scarlett finally radios HQ and says, hey, I've got the hostages. We've got 12 hostages here. 9 are Americans who have been involved in, were victims of human trafficking, and I need evac. And very begrudgingly, HQ agrees to it. So that pretty much ends this part of the story. We jump back to Washington, D.C., and Scarlett is getting grilled by her CO, Major Gorman. Gorman basically tells her that, hey, I am tired of you constantly disobeying orders, and you know what? I remember that your contract's is going to be up anyway, and you're not re-enlisting, and you're not getting renewed. You are finished. Scarlett jumps on her motorcycle and returns home. As she returns home, she's approaching her front doorstep when she notices that the tape that she puts when she's gone for an extended period of time, she basically puts some Scotch tape on the bottom of the door, and that Scotch tape has been broken. So, very carefully, Scarlett goes around to the back of the house to the sliding double pane glass window, and she sees a man just simply sitting in a chair, and he responds through the glass, once a spy, always a spy, I see. And the man introduces himself as Stalker. Scarlett wants to get to the point, like, why are you here, Stalker? What do you want with me? And Stalker goes on and basically says, hey, I want to know why when you gave your report to Major Gorman, you kind of left out the finer points of what happened during that. And Scarlett, doubles down. She says, no, my report was fully comprehensible or comprehensive, and I didn't leave out anything. And he goes, but you knew Gorman wouldn't pay attention to it, and why didn't you bring more light to it? And Scarlett basically goes on to say, well, and this is all in regards to Jinx, and Scarlett basically goes on to say, well, I knew if I mentioned something about an agent that's been missing for 2 years, I would probably get in trouble, and if he chose to ignore it, there's probably a reason he chose to ignore it, and I didn't want to get in any more hot water than I was already in. Obviously, it didn't matter at the end. Stalker notes that the Arashikage symbol, and Scarlett and Stalker then say to one another, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Stalker says, hey, it's obvious that despite your files, you two, Jinx and Scarlett, were much closer than you let on, or as your files would suggest. And she says yes, and we get a flashback to the two 4 years prior in the same house that Stalker and Scarlett are currently in, and they are looking at actually purchasing this house. So obviously, Scarlett goes on to say, Jinx and I were more than just, we did more than just work together. We were like sisters. She is my sister. And we go into it. Stalker then brings up the symbols again and says, hey, you mentioned something in your report about these symbols. And Scarlett says, yeah, when we lived together, we basically came up with our own version of communication. And nobody knows it but us. Not that we're geniuses or anything. We just came up with a code that we could talk to each other that only we know. And I saw those same codes at the Morocco mansion, and one of them specifically said, don't follow me. So I knew something was up. Going on, Stalker says, why did you choose to ignore the symbol at the Morocco mansion that said, stay away from me? And Scarlett says, okay, where are you going with this? I'm listening. And Stalker basically says, hey, she's been missing for 2 years because we, and by we he means G.I. Joe, we sent her on a mission to infiltrate Clan Arashikage, and we basically lost contact with her. And your report, once it hit the desk, we realized she's still out there, and there's something going on with it, and we need to investigate. So we are asking you to help us find out what is going on with Jinx. And with that, it's time to make our move. Sorry, I'm scrolling through my notes. So we jump forward to the next page of the issue, and we see a helicopter in the sky, and it is being flown by none other than Mr. Harlan Moore, a.k.a. Snowjob. Scarlett mentions, as she's still talking to Stalker in the past, saying, hey, I've worked with Snowjob before. Harlan's a great guy, both on and off the field. Jinx knows him, obviously. And she's basically getting ready to jump out of the plane, and Snowjob says, hey, if you need anything, you radio, and I'll be right back to get you. And as she jumps out of the plane, she says, I hope it doesn't come to that. And then we do cut back to Stalker and Scarlett talking more. It's basically they've been talking throughout the night, and it is now the morning. Scarlett thanks Stalker for letting her talk about Jinx so much, because she hasn't talked about her in over 2 years, and says, okay, what's the game here? Like, really, what's going on? And he's like, okay, I have experience with Clan Arashikage. He actually comes up and says that that he was trained in part by the clan, so I'm kind of interested on where that's going to go. Definitely a change versus the legacy of Stalker in the G.I. Joe canon. And he says, there's also a weapon involved in all this. It's not just about getting Jinx. Of course, Scarlett kind of huffs and says, of course it's always about a weapon. And Stalker says, sadly, it's true. So this job is as simple as can be, Stalker concludes. He says, Snowjob flies you in, you infiltrate Clan Arashikage, and you make them an offer that they can't refuse. And that's that. So, cutting back, Scarlett has been deployed. She jumped out of the helicopter, and she makes it to an area where she can observe this large Japanese mansion dojo combo thing. And she sees that it's guarded well, and she notices another one of Jinx's codes written on the wall. And we do get a brief cut back to the issue where Jinx and Scarlett are actually coming up with how they came up with this code. It's very interesting. If I remember, I think I should have a picture of it up on the screen. But yeah, so they come up with this code, and she sees that same message from memory back written on the wall. And with that, she pretty much makes her plan to full-on attack, infiltrate the building. She makes it in. She attacks many of these ninjas that are guarding the sanctuary. She takes them all out very quickly, killing some, wounding others. She gets up onto one of the interior walls of the sanctuary. She looks over and she sees 3 individuals in the courtyard. She sees, assumably, the Grand Master of the clan sitting in a chair, flanked by Jinx and another maskless male ninja. She makes a comment to herself basically saying, who wanted to live a fulfilling life anyway? And she jumps over the wall and makes a straight rush in through the courtyard, and we get a beautiful spread on the page, a 2-page spread of Scarlett just going to town on a whole bunch of ninjas, whole bunch of blood, stabs, slices, you name it, ninja action galore, and Scarlett has dispatched all of these ninjas. And she makes it up to the the Grandmaster, who she acknowledges and says, "I'm sorry to have invaded your sanctuary, Hardmaster, but I've come here with an offer for you." And basically he goes, "What do you have that you could offer me?" And she says something along the lines of, "I offer you me." And the Hardmaster kind of just smirks and says, "Well, why would I need you?" And she kind of looks side to side and says, "Seems like you do need me." And that's the moment of truth. We see the Hardmaster look at Scarlett, he smirks, and then suddenly his face becomes very stonewalled, and Scarlett curses herself, saying something, and right then we see the hilt of a sword heading at her head, and Scarlett only briefly from the corner of her eye sees it, and the final page of the issue is Scarlett unconscious, face down in the snow, and standing above her, Storm Shadow, who says to the Hardmaster, who thanks him, "I live to serve." And that's the issue. That's where it goes. We are introduced to so many players in this first issue. Lots of G.I. Joes. So yeah, what did I think of it? I kind of jumped around a little bit, and I apologize for that. I was recounting it more from memory today than I was from the actual notes I took. So what do I think about this issue? Holy cow. Lots of action. Basically giving us a Scarlett who is I guess I would say a little different than what my memories of Scarlett through various incarnations of her through comics over the years. I've always seen Scarlett as, and I'm nothing taken away from the Scarlett in this issue. This Scarlett's pretty damn badass. Scarlett to me has always been mission first, to the line, to the letter. That's always kind of the way I've perceived her. And this is more of a Scarlett that doesn't follow the rules. This Scarlett reminds me a lot of... It's interesting. I guess what I want to say is Duke and Scarlett in Image Comics both defy orders, which does not strike me as how Duke and Scarlett have been shown historically. They've always been like to the point, to the letter, good little boy, good little girl kind of thing. And I like this. I like that, she is taking charge. She's bucking her CO. She is making sure, she is seeing a broader picture more than just the mission, which can be good and can be bad. Definitely great to see her, just whoop ass on these ninjas. Definitely showing her her karate skills, which she is obviously known for, based on, Larry's original file card version of her. We know it. It makes sense. She infiltrated the mightiest ninja clan in the universe, essentially. And yeah, I liked seeing Snowjob. I liked them giving a little bit of backstory for not only for Snowjob, but for Jinx and Scarlett's relationship. My first thought was that Image Comics and Kelly Thompson, the writer, were going to, I am glad that we didn't go what I erroneously perceived as oh my gosh, they're a couple, blah, blah, blah. No, this is just, at least, I could be wrong, and they could go that way, it's fine. I just like, you can have just two people be friends and live together. They don't have to have any sort of, I guess, sexual relation or anything of that nature. They can just be like sisters, like Scarlett says. And it's nice because it's a great character building thing of two people that are very close in a platonic relationship, and they can just be that and be great. And yeah, it adds more to the story. And Jinx being able to just very covertly be part of the Arashikage, yet still also briefly acknowledging Scarlett. Well played, well done on character development, even in those subtle instances. So yeah, and then of course we can't not talk about Storm Shadow showing up. But I guess the other thing I want to bring up is, in this issue, I'm trying to figure out who this maskless male ninja beside the Hardmaster is. So my call is it's Budo. That's kind of the only male ninja I can think of that's unmasked, that's Japanese. So drop me a comment, let me know who you think it might be, because my guess is Budo, but I don't know. I could be completely wrong. If you guys have a better idea, please drop me a comment and let me know. But yeah, overall, very exciting first issue. Action-packed, which I liked. Good building of stories. I can't wait to see where the next one goes. Let me know in the comments if you've picked up this issue. If you haven't, I highly recommend picking it up. Please note that we do have Destro's Limited Series is starting up this month at the end of the month, so make sure you pick that one up as well. And with that, I believe I think A Real American Hero comes out next week. I think. Don't hold me to that. I think we got A Real American Hero coming out next Wednesday, and I believe the Wednesday after that will be Destro, or Destro might be the last Wednesday of the month. I can't remember. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you leave a like on this video. Make sure you hit the bell notification, subscribe so you don't miss any one of my reviews. I do these every Friday whenever there's a new comic available. Check out my other reviews. Check out Marvel Mondays. Check out my figure reviews. Check out my vintage figure reviews. And with that, I'm Mark. You've been watching Coffee with Toys, and I'll see you later.
Let's go.